Hey guys, welcome to Denny's. Today we are going to be talking about the incoming changes to reactors on October 10th. More specifically, we are going to be going over why I believe the changes are not actually enough to make reactor farming as ideal as I guess I would like it to be, and I'm sure many other people. And we will also be talking about some suggestions we have, or I have, to maybe put in place to make it a little bit better. And I'm sure a lot of you guys will agree with these, but some people may think it might be too easy. We're going to get into it, so definitely stay tuned. We're going to talk about all of it. And before we do, remember to like the video if it helped you in any way, subscribe if you think I've earned it today, and then comment feedback for me down below. But without further ado, let's hop in. So, first things first, I would like to preface the video by saying I am not a developer. I do not have a developer brain. I'm not going to be thinking like a developer here. There are consequences for some of these things. I know, but I've really only just kind of thought about these things off the top of my head and with some other people, and I've obviously seen these suggestions in the community. I just want to preface that there could be consequences to how these changes would affect the game and the people in the community and whatnot. But I want to preface that. And then I also want to preface and emphasize that we will be speculating about the reactor changes in coming October 10th, as there is no confirmed changes as to what's actually going. Obviously, all we know is we're going to be able to implant weapons. We don't know if it's going to be all weapons, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll talk about that in the video. So there will be a little bit of speculation. But now that I am done with the prefacing, let's get into it. Okay, so suggestion number one as far as the changes. So I want to talk about ion accelerators. So ion accelerators, as it stands right now, feel like the most useless material that we have out of all the materials that we have. Obviously, if you're far enough into the game, weapon transmission materials or even weapon reroll materials might not matter to you. But I guarantee you that ion accelerators are your least used material. And this is because the only thing they are used for is for upgrading or enhancing your reactor. And it only takes 15 of them to do each upgrade. So the ion accelerators could easily have a system where we are allowed to reroll one of the substats on a reactor with those ion accelerators, be it, obviously the purple for the ultimate reactors and the blue for the purple reactors. I don't really see a place in the meta for any purple reactors, so I think the purple reactors are absolutely obsolete and useless in most, if not all cases. And then as far as there would be the one question that would arise with this is, yes, we have millions of these mats to craft these ion accelerators, like millions, absolutely millions. So some people might say, well, as soon as that system comes in, people are just going to instantly have millions of these mats and be able to reroll as much as they want. Well, if that's a problem, which I don't see it being a problem because it's still extremely RNG when you're rerolling, just like when you're rerolling weapons. If that's a problem, then you could make the new type of content that's coming out, i.e. maybe the 400% infiltration dungeons or whatever content comes out in the future, drop a special currency to combine with these ion accelerators to reroll. So for example, for each, 400% infiltration dungeon you do, or we'll say like Transcendent difficulty Colossi in the future, or maybe like Transcendent infiltration, whatever comes out in the future, gives you one or two of these special currencies needed to reroll a reactor, however many, whatever they want to balance it like. That makes it a little bit more balanced, so at least over time we earn these when it first comes out, and that way we can start rerolling our reactors. That's just off the top of my head. I think that's a great idea. I think a lot of us agree, and we chatted about this on Twitch, and I think a lot of people think it's like a decent idea. There is definitely the argument that it would become too easy with this, but I think that we will get into that towards the end of the video. I'm going to talk about what these changes mean and if it is too easy. But next up, I would like to talk about the archetypes and subtypes. So for example, you've got your element, your arche, it's fire, chill, toxic, etc., right? Non-attribute, all the stuff, electricity. And then you've got your subtypes. You've got dimension, singular, fusion, etc., all those guys. So each and every reactor has a chance to roll with the same roll table. And we all know this, right? Whenever we get a toxic reactor, we see a fire boost on it. And you're like, hold on. How does this help me? How does this help me? Well, it doesn't. And it's redundant. It shouldn't be there, right? So this is the second concept I want to talk about is there should not be any archetype allowed on the reactor other than the reactor type itself. So if it's a toxic reactor, you should only be able to get a toxic boost on it. Okay, so what that means is you literally negate 4 or 5 other rolls immediately from your RNG loot pool, you know, of 1 in 34,000, however many chances, whatever the chance is right now before the October 10th updates. And you are automatically making it easier to farm, which is just that automatically makes it better. I think just this change alone would probably make farming reactors better, mixed with the mounting type that's coming October 10th, or the implant system. But I do want to say this as well. There is that secondary subtype. So for example, you know, you've got tech. Let's say you're on Lepic, right? I'm going to give the example of Lepic. You've got fire and tech. Why would Lepic want singular boost or dimension boost on every single reactor can roll with singular, dimension, fusion, et cetera, tech? Why would we want that as well, right? We wouldn't want that. So why is that rolling? It's just absolutely useless, and it shouldn't be possible to roll like that. So I believe that should be changed as well. I think both those things alone would make reactor farming insane. Absolutely insane. It would make it much better to farm reactors with just those changes alone. Just that. You don't have to ignore the ion accelerator change that I was referencing in the first part. Just this change would make it infinitely better. And that, I think, is probably the best change you could have. Now, as far as the ammo types, so multiple ammo types on reactors. So I know that there was some speculation in the community as far as what the changes are going to do with mounting. So for example, I was predicting in my weekly loot cave video that weapon mounting is not going to matter anymore. I was assuming. I think that it could go either way, right? You're going to have most people think that when you drop your reactor on October 10th, it's going to be locked to one ammo type. So if you get a heavy reactor, you're only going to be able to implant heavy weapons onto the reactor. And that makes sense. It does. I think that's more than likely what they're going to do, thinking about it over, you know, the past day and talking with people about it. However, it would not make sense in my opinion, because then you would obviously be farming multiple reactors still, all with the crazy RNG and rolls that are happening. And I feel like I don't want a reactor with piercing light, afterglow, and a Sigvor's proof, or piercing light, Sigvor's proof, and another launcher, like a heavy launcher. Like why would I want that? You know what I mean? I just wouldn't. I feel like it makes more sense to be able to customize your reactor to your loadout. If you're using a Thunder Cage, a Secret Garden, and a piercing light, there you go. Have it on that. There you go. Fallen Hope, Secret Garden, Sigvor's proof. There you go. One of each ammo type, and you've got a perfect loadout. It feels good. It's not clunky in any way. It's just my opinion, guys. I think this is what it should be like. However, there is that question of, is it too easy? And we're going to talk about that in a sec. But yeah, that is what I think should happen. And again, it's speculation, and we don't know what's actually going to happen. I'm assuming that it's probably going to be how people are saying it's going to be, where it's locked to one ammo type. However, if I were to get my way, I would love for it to be any ammo type. That way it just becomes less of a grind. And to add to this, I'm going to go off on a tangent here for a sec, so bear with me. I don't think that the pinnacle of farming in the first Descendant or any game like this should be basically farming one item that marginally increases your damage on your overall build. Yes, I know by getting, you know, Colossus damage and crit damage, it's not just a marginal increase for bossing. You're right, it isn't. It's a huge increase. However, a reactor should be a stepping stone on the journey to like perfecting your Descendant, and I don't think it should take as long as it does. And I know everybody agrees with me there, but I don't think it should even take even remotely close to as long as it does. I mean, it takes, in some cases, 20 hours at a minimum to get the double gold roll that you would like, which obviously gold rolls, purple rolls, blue rolls, we can talk about that for a while. I don't think double gold rolls are as worth it as people are going for them. I think that they're making the mistake of going for the double gold, when if you get a purple and a gold or a double purple, that's still a very, very good roll as long as they are the rolls you would like. But yeah, my point is, basically, I don't think that it should be a pinnacle of farming, if you will. Like, everybody's going to reactor farming when they're done with Descendants and when they're starting Descendants, and it's taking forever. It's like the hardest, most time-consuming thing in the game. I think as a piece of gear, as one of the 5, pieces of gear, you got your 4 external components in the reactor, it should never take that long to get one good piece of gear. Let us reroll it. Let us do something. The changes coming are nice. They're good. I just don't think they're enough. And I think that it's still going to be a nuisance to farm these if they do it the way that I think they're going to do it with the weapon mounting type. And now let's talk about, does this make farming reactors too easy really fast? So farming reactors, as I said, is a marginal increase on your damage, right? for farming builds and mobbing builds, it's nice. It's going to be, you know, you get the extra cooldown duration. You don't have to run a mod. You get the extra boost, extra crit damage, crit hit. It's nice. It shouldn't be, like I said, the pinnacle of endgame farming. And by making one substat rerollable, you have something to work towards, right? You have a goal, you have something to work towards. So you're farming towards maybe farming towards mats to reroll the kind of, kind of like weapons. It makes it so you're working towards something slowly instead of just relying on a complete numbers game. I know this game is all about numbers and you got your drop chance for morph patterns and stuff, but I mean, I finished the entire game. I have every weapon. Obviously, I don't have it 5x'd yet or, completely unique maxed. I finished every Descendant, and I truly believe that it would probably take me 5 to 7 times as long to get a reactor for every build for every Descendant. We have to remember that these reactors are for one build for a Descendant. Each reactor is not for a Descendant. It's for a build on a Descendant, right? So if each Descendant has 3 builds, right, you're gonna want a good reactor for 3 good reactors for that Descendant. And if right now they say there's 16 different Descendants in the game if you take away the duplicate ultimates, right? That means you're going to want to get like, what is that, 48 reactors? Listen, I know nobody's going to go and do this with every Descendant. Pick the Descendant you want to play, have fun with it, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just saying that is ridiculous. That is, you're going to put 5,000 hours into the video game farming reactors. So I know that I'm not trying to stand too negative, guys. I really want to emphasize that. I know they're going to be working on this. They're making changes. There's even people you can talk to in Albion that are probably going to be vendors in the future, hopefully to upgrade reactors or something. I don't even know, right? We don't know what they're going to do, but I'm just putting my 2 cents out there as well as what people have been kind of talking about. And I just want to open a discussion kind of to see what people think in the comments. That's kind of what this video is for. So please comment what you think would be a good system, or I don't want it to be too negative. I just want to know what people think, and if they like it now, if they like it, if it's easier, et cetera, et cetera. Obviously the game is missing end game content right now. Soon enough it will come, we will have it, and then we will kind of have that reactor be our stepping stone to that end game content and make it feel a little bit more satisfying to get a reactor. But yeah, reactors, components, everything, I think they're just a stepping stone to the build. I don't think that they should be what we are kind of like spending most of our time doing. I think we should be spending most of our time doing them, but not in the way that we are doing them now. I think farming the mats to upgrade them would be such a better system. And that way we actually have the satisfaction of knowing, even if, this takes 5 hours, we know that we can get this material and go and upgrade them when we complete that goal, right? When we complete that number of material we need to go and upgrade them. Excuse me, re-roll them or upgrade them, etc. But yeah, that was pretty much the video, guys. I really appreciate it. If you stayed this long for the for the tangents and all the reactor talk, I would really like to see what you guys have to think in the comments this time around. I'm really trying not to be too negative. Definitely let me know what you think. And like the video if it helped. Don't forget to comment feedback as well. Subscribe today if you felt that I earned it. And keep posted to the channel. We're going to keep posting, and we got October 10th coming up real quick. So yeah, guys, I'm out of here. Have a great rest of your week, great rest of your day. And yeah, peace out. Goodbye.